went to this, I went to this liberal art school called St. Mary's College in the Bay Area, and they made you take creative writing classes. They made all freshmen take these creative writing classes, amongst other things. And I took this creative writing class and wrote an assignment in the class, which the first assignment was write about your most emotionally intense experience. And my professor, Rosemary Graham, she wanted to see how everyone wrote. And I turned my assignment in, and she gave me a call, come down to her office hours, and told me that she really thought my writing was really visual, and I should really think about, maybe becoming a writer professionally, specifically screenwriting. And I thought she was kind of crazy at the time, but later on I realized that maybe it was something to it. She's still one of my close friends to this day, and I started to, figure out how to learn how to write screenplays on the side while I was doing that. And that school dropped their football program, and I got a scholarship to another school called Sacramento State. And I went there and I switched my major to finance while I was there and took a bunch of filmmaking classes.
Of course. Okay, so this movie came out. You went to USC, right? To graduate school at USC. Okay. And we won't say UCLA or anything like that. It's like,
UCLA is cool too.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So, but this story came out of the Sundance Screenwriting Lab. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or did this start as a short when you were already in school?
Say again?
Or did this movie start as a short that you worked on in school, or
No,
this came out of the Screenwriting Lab?
I never worked on it as a short. Started to, I got the idea to make it as a film while I was still in film school, and got introduced to Forrest Whitaker and the production company before I graduated. Talked to them about doing it, and then once I graduated from film school, which was in 2011, I went back home to the Bay Area, and I was working and writing the script while I was working. And around that time, the Sundance Institute woman named Elise McKinney, who heads up that program, reached out and asked me what I was working on, because they were getting ready to gear up for their screenwriters lab, which takes place right before the film festival. So then I was fortunate that I had just finished up the first draft of the script. I turned that in, and then had a phone call with her and Michelle Sauter, who runs the whole feature film program, and a few other people there, and was fortunate enough to get accepted into the screenwriting lab. Went there and workshopped the script for a week before the film festival of 2012.
Right, but you got some amazing actors. You got Octavia Spencer, an Oscar winner, to be in this film, and Michael Jordan, who at the time was basically was a TV actor, more or less, right?
Yeah, well, Mike was he was fortunate enough to get Octavia, and Mike. I can talk a bit about how the casting came together. When writing the film, I knew that this would be the kind of film that would live or die by the lead performance, by who was in that role. Because I want the film to be, exercising and getting the audience to become intimate with this character. I feel like Oscar is the kind of guy who represents so many people that we often see from a distance. You know what I mean? But so much of America never sees these kind of people up close. And I knew that the relationships the audience would have with this actor would have to be, an incredible bond. And I wanted an actor who was young. I wanted an actor who knew what it was like to come up in an urban environment like this. I needed an actor who was experienced, who had worked a lot. I needed an actor with incredible range. I needed somebody who looked like Oscar. And after I went through that whole checklist, it was really only one person. And that was Michael B. Jordan. And I was familiar with him from The Wire and a lot of other work that he had done. And I was fortunate enough that around that time, he had just finished a couple feature films. One was called Red Tails, another one was called Chronicle. And he really did an amazing job in those roles. And I realized that he hadn't had a lead role just yet. So I was really excited to be able to offer that to him. So I wrote the script with Mike in mind. And once I come out of Sundance Labs, I met with Mike, and we really got along, and we hit it off from there, and he signed on. I'd say Spencer was a whole other story. She, this role, this relationship with Oscar's mom was really important. I knew we needed incredible actors, and I just signed with the agent, with William Morris Endeavor, and he was asking me, his name's Craig Castell, he was asking me, so Ryan, who we gonna have for the mom? And I said, I don't know, we need somebody really good. And he was like, what about Octavia Spencer? And I kind of laughed. I thought he was joking because she had just won an Oscar. She won an Oscar like a couple weeks before we were talking. So I was like, Octavia, you're right. So he's like, no, I'm serious, man. Like we should send her the script and she might be interested in doing it. I hear she's a really nice person, and she's really interested in these kind of projects and stuff. So I was like, hey, what we got to lose? So we sent her a script, and got a call back a few days later, and she said she was in, and it was really incredible. And Melanie Diaz came on recommendation from a few people that worked with her through the Sundance Lab, and from Craig as well. And I seen her work and was a big fan. And we talked over Skype. She was out in New York and she came on board.
So what kind of budget did you have to make this film?
We made the film for a little under like $1 million. And we actually had less than that at first. And the Sundance Institute came in with some grants, and the San Francisco Film Society was really helpful. They helped us out with production grants as well as post-production grant. They helped us finish the film. So it all came in around $1 million.
You didn't get paid with that, I'm guessing. I said you didn't get paid in that $1 million, I'm guessing.
I mean, I got paid. It would have been illegal if I didn't get paid a little bit, but it wasn't much. but I mean, it was more. I mean, it was enough for me to eat, which is all I care about. For me, this film wasn't about money at all.
Right. But and did you shoot it in the community where this happened?
Yeah, absolutely. We shot on all locations. Was a huge part. It was very much a character in the film. And I'm from the Bay Area. It's a very I think it's the best place in the world. I'm biased, but it's also a very unique place. It's a place that has a very unique climate, very unique culture. Very unique circumstances in terms of how it looks, in terms of how the air feels, in terms of how people talk, and how different cultures relate to each other. And I thought it was really important that we shot the film there. And there was also a lot of history involved in this case. It came up about maybe shooting the film in Los Angeles or maybe shooting it somewhere else. And what actually happened with the case was after Oscar was killed, because there was so many protests and so many riots, so many demonstrations that followed in the community, the defense actually made a motion to have the case moved out of the Bay Area, so that they could get a jury that was less familiar, didn't have their mind made up already, and that motion was actually granted. So it was a deep sense of violation that was felt in the Bay Area, that the case didn't take place there. So I thought it would have been really unfortunate if we shot anywhere but in that location.